Washington, former presidential spokeswoman, Dana Perino, now a Fox News analyst. So, Dana, can any president control extremists in his party?
It's very difficult, and as you said, President Obama hasn't even really tried. And in fact, on some of the issues that they cared about the most, Guantanamo Bay, tax cuts, and even Afghanistan, he has not bowed to what they wanted. It reminds me of when I was press secretary and we went through the immigration debate. Actually, I wasn't press secretary. Tony Snow was the press secretary, and I was his deputy. And President Bush tried to set a tone for a comprehensive immigration reform debate, one that was civil, and in many ways he lost control of that from his right flank.
Okay, now that's a very interesting statement you just made. So President Bush wanted to pass the McCain-Kennedy immigration reform bill, correct?
I think, well, maybe with some tweaks, but generally, yes.
Okay. He appealed to the Republican Party to get behind the bill. They did not. In the media, and perhaps I'm one of the people, okay, because I thought that bill certainly did not have enough border protection in it, and opposed the bill on that basis, okay. In the Republican Party and in the media, it got real personal, didn't it?
Very personal, and it left a stain that was almost impossible to get out. Remember, everybody all of a sudden thought that it was an amnesty bill, and that's all that it was called. One of the things on that point was President Bush got absolutely no help from the left either. Okay, but let's
keep it in this. So President Bush is watching this whole thing dissolve, okay, because commentators who opposed the McCain-Kennedy bill, all right, basically, and I tried not to make it personal. I said many times that if I were a poor man in Mexico, I would sneak across the border and try to make money to feed my family. I don't know how many times I said that. So it wasn't personal with me, okay, but I didn't like the policy aspect of it because it didn't secure the border, so I opposed the bill. But other people obviously made it very personal, and obviously took the bill and said it was amnesty and a sellout and this, that, and the other thing, and it lost. And the Republican Party didn't support it. So, how hard did President Bush try to control the debate? How much pressure did he put on people?
I remember assigning Tony Snow a list of people to call, and he would do talk radio all day long and try to explain the bill, and you know, we thought that it did have enough border security in it. I understand that a lot of people didn't. No, President Bush would invite conservative commentators in to talk to them about it, but one of the things that happened, Bill, and I think this is happening on the left on the other side of this, not just on immigration but in general, which is some in the Republican Party, or at least on the extreme right, really made it very personal against individuals that had come into the country, and the entire Hispanic community, here legally or not, took offense to it.
Yeah, and they voted for Barack Obama. There's no doubt about that. You're absolutely 100% right on that. Okay. So President Bush sent Snow out on talk radio and invited some people in. By the way, I never got any missive from the White House on any of that. I just want people to know, full disclosure. And he lost. He couldn't control it. Now we have Barack Obama, okay, who is appealing for civility in the debate. They're ignoring him. The far left is absolutely ignoring him. They're saying, look, we're going to do what we want. We want to be vicious. We want personal attacks. We don't care what you say. And it looks like President Obama can't control them.
I agree with you in talking points, man, when you talked about how this will hurt President Obama in the end. I've thought that, especially with some of the likes of whom are not in Congress anymore, like Congressman Grayson, who was one of the biggest repeat offenders on the Democratic side of the aisle.
Yeah, Cohen has replaced him as the biggest loon, far-left loon in Congress. So you're right. Grayson was a loon. He got voted out. Now Cohen has replaced Grayson. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things that you saw is, as a party, one of the things you need is self-policing. So if I saw a fellow Republican saying something I thought was out of bounds, you would think that I would want to say, hey, why don't you back off? That was uncalled for. I haven't really seen too many people in the left. And look,
no, they're afraid of him.
Well, President Obama's speech in Tucson helped him a little bit. And now, having set a new standard for tone, he's going to have to live up to it. And that's something that in the past 2 years he hasn't been able to do necessarily.
He can live up to it, but he's not going to be able to force these people to do it. He's not. And I don't think he'll even, I don't even think he'll try. I don't think he'll try. I think he'll say, oh, you should do it, but he's not going to be the big teacher who keeps them after school. I'll give it a last word.
Well, you quoted congressmen who were saying some of the things. The other part of the professional left are the ones that are on the internet and
yeah, but those are
just
professional
foaming out
agitators.
the mouth all the time.
They make money
it is
agitating.
much worse.
Yeah, well,
But
they make
it
money
feeds up.
agitating. So they're
It's a
never
bottom-up
going to
thing.
give it up because what else do they have? These people have nothing else but that. They go out of business. But his own party is embarrassing him, I think, by continuing the smear talk.
He's got another shot at the State of the Union next Tuesday, and we'll see how he addresses
All right,
it,
Dan.
and I think he should.
Thanks very much.